Well, hello everybody, where do I start? Yes, it's a wonderful sunshiny day here on the riverside here in Worcester. And in this video I'm going to be going through what in heaven's name happened at the Great Manchester Half Marathon. Yes, what happened there? So if you are new here, be sure to click on that subscribe and hit that alarm bell, because you won't want to miss any future epicness. Because what I'm going to go through in this video, and you're going to want to watch all the way through, so be sure to give it a thumbs up, is I'm going to go through not just the actual race itself.
Great Manchester Half Marathon! Woohoo! Let's go!
But the week before, because there was a lot of nuggets of information that I've got to share with you to show that it's not just about what goes on at race day, but it's how we prepare and how we use a particular mindset and work with what we have, because by working with what we have, we can be the most effective. Don't you agree?
4 miles to go, this is really hurting.
So without further ado, let's go!
Heat fatigue. Come on, come on.
Oh, what can I say? What can I say? I've got to give a big shout out and thank you to each and every one of you who gave those massive thumbs up and comments on the actual race itself, and also the previous races. And I will be doing another video to go through how, in heaven's name, because what happened is as rare as hen's teeth, did I qualify for 3 England Masters distances, yeah, which the half marathon was the final of the hat trick. So yeah, how did I do all that? But that'll be in a separate video. I'm going to go through how did I actually win the Manchester Half Marathon. That's right, I won it for my age group, the 60 to 64. That's right, I came in number 1. I wasn't planning on that, I just ran the best race I could with what I had. So I'm going to go through the week before and then race day. Yep. Well, the week before was a tough week. Having raced the Bristol 10K, the Great Bristol 10K, which was absolutely brilliant. It really did take a lot out of me. That was my first race post London Marathon and Manchester Marathon, which were literally only weeks before that race. So I'd already been in heavy recovery mode for a couple of weeks and was still recovering, and certainly it showed in that particular race where I finished very tired and I couldn't really keep any pace towards the end. I think from about 4k in that 10k race, but that meant that I had to change my strategy for the week before the Manchester Half Marathon, where I needed to recover. The plan was to do 3 or 4 runs and to do a progressive run, which is to get progressively quicker. So that was what was on the original plan, but because I felt so tired and lethargic, I didn't do any runs on the Monday or Tuesday. It wasn't until the Wednesday, oh no, actually it was the Tuesday. I did do a recovery run on the Tuesday, about half an hour, but the legs didn't feel good and I was really not good, but I was eating and drinking and getting myself and sleeping. I thought I was sleeping well, but my HRV, heart rate variant, kept decreasing day on day, so I was clearly having something to clear in my system and it wasn't clearing too well. So when I got to do, the plan was to do my progressive run on the Wednesday. That's why I said, oh, Wednesday was the day. But Tuesday I done an easy recovery run and the plan was to do a progressive run on the Wednesday, but I didn't feel good at all, so I moved it to the Thursday. And then come Thursday morning, yes, it was a progressive run indeed. Yeah, so a bit of a 2k warm-up, well, not exactly 2k, but I do a bit of a warm-up, and then it was going to be a progressive 5k and then a cool down. So yes, it was progressive. Unfortunately, it was progressively slower. Yes, so I hadn't recovered and I was feeling really tired, and at this point I was really having to analyze what would my race strategy be for race day. So I then rested again on the Friday and just had a little jiggy jog on the Saturday morning as preparation for race day itself. That was the week before. A lot had gone and a lot had happened, so I was really in recovery mode. I travelled up on the Saturday up to stay with my sister and brother-in-law in the city centre. So now it comes to race day. Yes guys, race day came along, and as you may have seen from the video, links in the description of that race itself, I was properly pumped up, but I also knew it was going to be a hot day for me. Hot for me, some of you guys might be comfortable running in those temperatures, but the ideal endurance temperature was about 9 Celsius, and it was nowhere near that. It was much higher than that. So I knew that I needed to accommodate for that. The strategy was, or my goal was, to come in top 3 for my age group. By coming in top 3 would guarantee me selection for England Masters at half marathon. And it was a big ask because there was a number of people who were on the list of wanting to qualify in my age group, so I knew I had to compete, but I didn't let that get to my head. My aim was around the 90 minutes. I was aiming, you know, you always aim for sub 90, don't you, for a half marathon? Well, I do anyway, irrespective of how I feel. But as the race starts, and I always talk about this, not just half marathon, but marathon also, always start for me is conservatively and see how I feel. So that's why when the 1 hour 30 marathon pacer passed me in the first sort of 400 to 800 meters of the start of the race, I wasn't losing my cool. He seemed to be going at a fair clip, and I let the 100 or so people who were following him all go by me, and I could keep him in sight, but I was beginning to struggle. After about 2 kilometers, the heat was getting to me and I was beginning to struggle, and that's when I knew that I had a race on to try and aim for that sub 90 minute. Fast forward, we get towards the Etihad Stadium, and it was fantastic. First time I've ever seen the Manchester City Stadium, and now being Premiership champions, it got me into a mood. But there was an out and back section there, and that's when I realised, when I saw the 90-minute pacer coming back the other way, and I could see where the turnaround point was, I then realised I really had a job to do to catch up that guy, because he was way ahead of me. I wouldn't say he was maybe a kilometre ahead, but he was certainly close to a kilometre ahead already. And I'm mixing my kilometres and mileage because in the UK, the half marathon and marathons are measured in mile markers. So whilst for me I'm saying he was about a kilometre ahead because I measure in kilometres, it wasn't until I got to mile 4 after that turnaround point that I really started to push on. So I was pushing on from the turnaround from Manchester. But it was this point where I spotted one of the guys on the backs when we're racing for the age group masters. You're supposed to have a tag on the back of you saying what age category. And I saw the first guy who had M60 on the back of his shirt. And I saw that he was in a particular club jersey as well. So I thought, oh, here's one of the guys. So I didn't pass him till mile 4. So he obviously was being way ahead of me up to this point. But I think the guy was beginning to suffer in the heat, because checking his time splits and my splits at halfway, bearing in mind I passed him at mile 4, at halfway I was already a minute up, and then by the end of the race I was 5 minutes up on him. So was I speeding up or was he slowing down? I think a combination of the two, and that's where race strategy really does come in. So I was kicking from mile 4. When I passed that guy, I was really going for it, and you've seen the breakdown literally almost mile by mile where I was beginning to chase down. But there were so many turns, when I say chase down the pacer, so many turns I couldn't see the pacer. It was only until the last sort of home straight with a kilometre to go, and I passed the, I think it said 9k, which was for the 10k races, so with 1 kilometre to go at the race, when I passed that marker, that's when I could see him straight in my sights, and that's where my mindset was like, let's really go for it now. We got to go, because I could sense I was getting close to him. But this was the point where I thought, I've really got this, and I really kicked on. Whilst my pace was not as quick as it was sort of when I was kicking on from mile 4, it had slowed down. It was beginning to pick up again. But again, I could feel my body straining, and the heart rate did show it was straining. It went over 190 beats per minute, which, as you can imagine, for someone my age, 61, well, I'll be 62 in a few days' time. Yeah, happy birthday to me. It was taking its toll, but I could see the home straight. So I passed him with, there was about 800 meters to go. 600 meters to go, I don't know, I'm not measuring it, but it was about 600 meters to go. I finally caught him and I passed him, and I was passing him at quite a pace. That's when I was really pushing on, and there's this great picture of me coming towards the finish line where I'm doing that, yeah, and there's a guy next to me who just happened to be following the 90-minute pacer from the start, and I was beginning to pass him, and I think the guy wasn't having any of this. And in the video footage, that's the beauty of filming these, he kicked on the last 100 meters or so and came in ahead of me. So he clearly didn't want to be beaten by an old guy in a pink tutu. So there you go. I obviously motivate a lot of runners out there, and a big shout out to Charlie as well, who kept up with me up to a point. You left a comment in the previous video. Well done, Charlie. One of the students out there, I don't know which University of Manchester it was, whether it's Met or Manchester University itself. I don't know how these university works these days, but well done, Charlie, on that. And in terms of well dones to everybody, well done to Suzanne Lebert, who's an avid follower, subscriber on this channel, who won the Brooklyn Half on the same day, having just turned 60, ran a sub 90 as well, which for a 60-year-old lady is amazing, absolutely amazing. So well done, Suzanne. Back to my race. When I saw that finish line, I just went for it and sprinted to the finish line and let out that elation, because there was a lot in there. I knew I gave it my all.
Woo! Fuck yeah, Johnny! Yeah! You motherfucker! Woo!
As you can imagine, a lot of emotion there, letting it all out. I felt great. And yeah, for me, just coming in sub 90, job done. I had no idea what position I'd come in, because obviously there's still runners coming in. I didn't know who was ahead of me, who was behind me. I was just focusing on my race. So if that's a key takeaway for you guys watching this, is run your own race. It's so important to run your own race, because we all know what our fitness levels are, and running with someone you don't know what fitness they're at. They'll be at a different level of fitness, and then you might pay the price in the latter miles, because in the last few miles I was passing so many people. It was like a hot knife through butter, and it does give you an uplift, Super Mario points, as you're passing people towards the end of the race. It does make you feel good. And for me, the icing on the cake was seeing my sister waiting at the finish line for me and having that hug there and finish, and it felt great. And then I headed off for my shower, clean up, and then to support her and everybody else at doing the 10k, because it is the biggest 10k in Europe. So that was a quick summary of the race and how it went for me, and the strategies that I used in terms of monitoring myself as I go along through the race, and also ensuring that I'm not going to tank, because I did feel I did tank in the 10k a week before. So I seem to run a very fine line of recovery with racing at optimum pace. So yeah, it's not my fastest half marathon by a long shot, but considering I'd ran 2 marathons, 2 10Ks and raced a hard 10K in the previous 4 weeks, I'd say that's not bad, is it? Yeah. I hope you've learnt and gleaned from that. Tired legs they were, basically tired legs. I'm going to be in full recovery mode now for the next well, month or so, where I'll be doing some walks, treks and so on as part of the Camino training. And as I mentioned, I'd dearly love for you guys to sponsor me in the link below for the Camino walk for Prevent Breast Cancer, which is who I was racing for on that day, and also London Marathon. See you all very soon, guys, and I love you all. Can't wait to read your comments in the comment section below. And if you were racing, supporting in any way, I'd love to hear from you also. Take care, everyone. Peace out. Bye, 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 bye. And don't forget, train, race, pizza.
Here we go, go, go! Great Manchester half marathon. Woohoo! Let's go! Woohoo! Ha ha ha! Yeah, yeah.